Card D Kaizoku!
Over here!
Nick from the Kawaii Beanies.
It's real good to see you!
It's been a while!
Card D Kaizoku.
In today's video, Nick from the Kawaii Beanies challenged me, someone who has not played Yu-Gi-Oh! In over 2 decades, to judge how good some of these Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards are. They were gracious enough to let me upload half of it on my channel, but you can check out part 1 of the video on their channel, the Kawaii Beanies. I'll link it in the description below. Thanks again to the Kawaii Beanies for setting this up, editing it, having me on. They pretty much did everything. I can't really take much credit for this one. So yeah, check out their channel or I'm gonna beat you up.
There's only 10 here, and we're on 6 so far. So
Okay.
this is Mystic Mine. So you remember that golden castle I showed you?
Mm-hmm.
So it sticks on the field. This is also a field spell. They work like stages.
Got it.
So it is, if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, your opponent cannot activate monster effects or declare attacks. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you control more monsters than your opponent does, you cannot activate effects or declare attacks. Once per turn during the end phase, if both players control the same amount of monsters, destroy this card.
This card sucks? Because I know Swords of Revealing Light. I know that card exists, and it sounds like that card does the same thing that this card does, but like, it doesn't hurt yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say this is bad.
Alright, so the answer is bad,
Okay.
but the correct answer is that it's so good it's banned.
Oh.
So what people would do for this card is if they're going second and your opponent establishes a big board of monsters on you, they drop this card down so now they can play through the monsters.
Oh.
Yep, and actually something that this really benefited were burn decks.
Oh, right.
Yep.
Because they don't play any monsters
They
at all?
don't play any monsters, so they drop this down, and the only way that your opponent can out it is if they open or draw spell and trap removal, and it has to be spell or trap to remove the spell or traps, right? Because you can't use monster effects.
Right.
And so then your opponent has to play through all these random things while trying to out the mine because they can't attack you. And there's a bunch of decks. There's decks that burn you. There's actually this deck that I used to play. It's called Prank Kids. That has this like bare minimum line that you only ever have 1 monster on field. So if your opponent ever has 2 monsters on field, you can do this. It's called a rock. It's a rocket, right? And he attacks directly for 1,000. So in 8 turns, the rocket will kill you. And on each end phase, he can tag out back into your hand. And so you never leave a monster on field to equalize.
Okay, that's pretty jank.
Yeah. This deck was legal for way too long. Or this card was legal for way too long. Alright.
What card caused it to be banned? Or is it just people were just tired of playing this type of deck?
People were just tired of playing it. People kept complaining that this card was like too good. Like any card that forces you to draw the out, people don't like.
Got it.
It becomes no skill. It's if you open the card you win. If you don't open the card you lose, right?
Right.
So yeah, it's like not even skill based. So yeah. But yeah, this card is really good. I used to play it because I thought it was pretty cheese. Alright, let's go on to the next one. This one is Cyberstein. Pretty simple effect. Pay 5,000 life points, special summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck in attack position.
I think this guy was out when I still played.
Yeah,
actually.
he's a pretty old card.
5,000 life, special summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck. That's good, right? Because you don't even need the fusion material or the spell.
Yep, it just cheats him out.
Yeah, I'm gonna say good.
Okay, so this card is good. It is still good. It just doesn't see play right now.
Okay.
So it was banned and recently got unbanned, I think, like a year or 2 ago because of power creep. You know, that's just how every game goes, right? This card can, again, fusion summon anything for 5,000 life points, but the problem is it takes 5,000 life points, so you can only do it like once a game.
Right.
So, and there's also no easy way to get this guy out other than normal summoning him, and normally you want to play like your normal summon is something you want to actually save for your engine of your deck, right? So like when this guy came out, you could afford to normal summon him and make a big dude. But now if you normal summon him and make a big guy, like you're not comboing.
Right.
So, yeah, he is a good card, was banned, and then he got unbanned because power creep. Alright, so here we have a second pot card. This is Pot of Desires. It is banish 10 cards from the top of your deck face down, draw 2. You can only activate one Pot of Desire per turn.
The fact that it limits you to activating 1 per turn makes me think that this is a good card, that they had to add that at the end. So yeah, I think this is a good card.
Okay, you're right. This is a good card. It is... It actually went from unlimited status to 2, and it went back to unlimited because this card... So there's 2 ways to look at this card, right? It's either a +1 or a -9. Right? But if your deck runs only 3-ofs of every card in your deck, you're never really losing cards. And it essentially just says draw 2. Especially in Yu-Gi-Oh games when turns only go on for like 2 to 3 turns.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, they're quick. They're quick.
Okay.
But they still take the full 45 minutes. Because you're comboing forever, and everyone's playing for time. There's actually cards specifically made for time. It's actually really annoying. Part of the reason why I like took a break from it. Yeah, this card's very good. I love this card. When it came out, it was like $100, and I kind of got priced out of the game for a while.
Ooh.
Yeah, but then nobody ended up playing it, so it didn't matter.
Okay.
All right, here is another one. This is our second to last card. This is Gnome Material. If your opponent special summons a monster while you control no cards, meaning nothing at all on the field, but you can have your hand, you can discard this card, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls this turn. Target one. This turn, that monster cannot be tributed, uses material for a fusion, synchro, XZ, or link. You can only use one once per turn.
Okay, so this is also a hand trap?
Yes.
Okay. And then you mentioned earlier that the normal summon is like the engine for a deck, so if this can like stop that, it just basically shuts down the opponent from doing whatever they wanted to do. And then you also said games only last 2 or 3 turns, so this would like completely cut them off with no turn, and then you can finish in your 2 turns after that, right? That sounds like it's really good.
Yeah, so this card, I'm still hoping that it will have its day in the sun, but it is a bad card.
Oh, it is?
But, no, so the logic that you used is exactly the logic that everyone used.
Okay.
So when they saw this card before like it came out, obviously, because you know you get to see the cards, Japan gets them first. Everybody saw this card and went crazy. They're like, this card ends turns. So good. It came out, it was like $100, and about after 2 weeks, people realized it could get played through.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it only stops one special summon. And so what people do is they'll bait you with one special summon that doesn't really matter, and then they'll special summon more. So you're limited to one normal summon, but you have unlimited special summons.
Got it.
Yeah. But you had the right mindset. You had the entire community's mindset there.
Dang, I would have been the guy who spent 100 on the first day.
Yeah, the card, it was very good, and it was seeing play in Japan, but Japan is like the guinea pigs. It's the same thing with like One Piece. Like we see them play things, and then we basically get a shortcut for playtesting because we see how they change, right? Yeah, that's what happened. Very sad, but I have a playset of these now, and I'm like, man, I don't know what to do with them. They're just sitting there. I'm waiting that they'll have their day, though. All right, we're going to the last card. You ready?
Yep.
This is Crossout Designator. Declare one card name. Banish one of that card from your main deck, and if you do, negate its effects as well as the activated effects and effects on the field as the card with the same original name until the end of this turn. You can only activate one once per turn. This is also a mouthful.
Yeah, let me reread this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Declare one card name. Banish one of that declared card from your main deck. If you do, negate its effect, as well as the activated effects and effects on the field of cards with the same original name. So I would assume this card is good if there's like a card that every deck runs. But think I just don't know enough about all the decks in Yu-Gi-Oh to
You know about
if
hand
this
traps.
is good. Oh right, yeah. Everyone runs the same hand traps, right? So this can just negate a hand trap for a turn.
Yep.
But is that good?
Is
That sounds
negating
good.
one hand trap good?
But they could have multiple hand traps. I'm gonna go situational.
Yeah, that's totally correct actually.
Okay.
So in Japan, right, this card is limited to 2 copies per deck
Oh.
because they don't have the best hand trap in the game banned. Does that make
so
sense?
everyone does run that card.
Everybody runs this card and that hand trap, so that way they can stop that hand trap, right?
Uh-huh.
But here in like our meta, we don't have that hand trap, so hand traps are more variant between decks.
Mhm.
So this card is very situational. If anything, this is like a side deck card. Or if
Okay.
your deck dies really hard to one specific hand trap that's very common in the meta, you would run this with like 1 or 2 copies of the card.
Okay. Is Yu-Gi-Oh played in like a best of 3 format?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so I can see how this could be a perfect sideboard card.
Yep, very situational. Just because, and it's a so you see that lightning bolt by where it says spell card.
Huh.
It means quick play, so you can activate this in response to things.
Okay.
Yeah. So, again, so like I was telling you with the Ash Blossom, if somebody Ash Blossoms you at like a checkpoint in your combo and you have this in hand, you can just negate it and keep playing. And it's
Got it.
negated for the
Okay.
end of the turn. So say you're playing a hand trap that doesn't have a once per turn clause on it, they can't use it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, this card is like, it's very, very situational. It just depends on what's running around in the meta, if everybody's running like the same cards. I used to run this in mirror matches.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah,
Seems
so-
like the perfect place to run it.
So if there's like ever a tier 0 format, people will run this just to like hit the one card.
Dang. I need this for my Sakazuki deck.
Yeah, I hit Hound Blazes all day. But yeah, hey, I hope that wasn't too hard. I think it was fun. It's a very different
Yeah.
card game though, isn't it?
Yeah, completely different. The creativity and then the what am I trying to say? The scope of the game of Yu-Gi-Oh seems more wide than One Piece. There's like more things you can do in Yu-Gi-Oh, so there's more effects that you can play around. Different things you can target.
It's more of a combo-based strategy, and there's no resources. You can just use things. So like, your deck basically becomes like a second hand, your graveyard becomes like a third hand, and then your extra deck becomes like a fourth hand. And all you have to do is find your way to access it from your starting 5.
Okay, yeah, I can see. Like, I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh is like a very like power fantasy kind of targeted game where
Yeah.
you do your whole combo out, feel strong.
Yeah, it's like most times it's like you build this amazing board on your turn 1, and your opponent has to decide like, can they break it? There's like 3 options. Can you break it? Can you play through it? Or do you go to game 2?
Okay.
You know? Because you don't want to waste time. Because you
Right.
do combo for like 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it gets boring after a while. That's why I had to take a break. I've been playing since it like came out in 2000.
Oh wow. You've
Yeah.
seen it evolve.
Yeah, it went from like just you normal summon 1 to like I'm gonna play 30 cards in 1 turn. Good luck breaking this. But yeah, thank you. Shout out to Kaizoku for being here.
Yeah, and thank you for having me on. This was a really fun quiz. Really fun
Yeah.
idea.
You guys check him out, even though you're probably gonna check me out from him instead. But you know, still fun. Again, thank you. Hope everybody has a good night, and I'll see everyone later. Peace.
Bye.
Kaizoku.